Freelancing Guide for Beginners, Online Money Making. From journalism to IT to design. Pretty much every industry requires work experience. But what's the secret to learning the trade and getting paid? Freelancing. Here's how to get started. But, thankfully, there's a better alternative. With a bit of determination, you can become a paid freelancer, providing articles, animations, apps, admin support, or anything else to the world. The benefits are aplenty. Not only will it be great experience for your CV, but with the right project, the pay can be pretty decent too. So, without further ado, here's our ultimate guide to becoming a freelancing success. Let's face it, the idea of rocking out of bed, making a ridiculously quick commute to your laptop and beginning work sounds like bliss. But, working from home isn't necessarily as easy as it sounds. And every advantage is tempered with drawbacks. Control over your workload, you can be selective about which tasks to take on. So if a job will take too long, or doesn't pay well enough, there's no harm in rejecting it. International clients, as the majority of freelance work's done online, freelancers can work with people from around the world. Potential to make a lot of money, with the right reputation. The amount of money you can earn is limitless. Keeping up with tax, filling out self-assessment tax returns can be confusing. But our guide can help. Unstable income, you might have to deal with late payments and it's not always easy to find commissions. Distractions at home, it can take a lot of discipline to not procrastinate or spend too long in bed when you choose your own hours. Work is competitive, plenty of people will be applying for the best projects. So you'll have to work hard to gain experience and make your application stand out. Working on your own, as most of your work will be done on your tot at home. It can get lonely. Look for freelancing groups on sites like Facebook or Meetup to find other people to chill with while you work. To avoid getting cabin fever, and to stay focused, we recommend heading out to a coffee shop and making the most of any free Wi-Fi you can find. Public libraries are also great places to work too. Breaking up your tasks into bite-sized chunks and changing your workspace a couple of times a day will help you stay fresh and creative. From the sublime to the ridiculous, pretty much any skill can be utilized and sold via freelancing. These are some of the best freelance roles for students. This is probably the most accessible type of freelancing work out there, especially if you're studying an essay-based degree and spend most of your days writing anyway. Freelance jobs in this field are hugely varied. You could be asked to write blog posts, whole ebooks, under the condition that someone else's name appears on the front. Product descriptions for online stores, or even Facebook posts and tweets. You could even try your hand at freelance journalism. Writing pitches to magazines, newspapers and other publications. Just be aware that some publishers, even big names, will try to take advantage of your student status and expect you to work for free. Ask about their rates before agreeing to write for them. Plus, if you're fluent in another language, translation work beckons. Some languages can earn you more than others. One language could earn you over £50,000. You're a stickler for grammar and love learning new random things, such as whether it's normal to have a mole on your penis, or where the best place to buy a dishwasher is in Slough, both writing assignments we've seen before. Design is a bit more of a challenging sector to join. Not only do you need to own some industry standard software, but you need top skills and creativity to use it to its full potential and meet the demands of your clients. You could be creating a logo for a new startup company, animating videos, illustrating snazzy PowerPoint presentations, or even working on adverts that will appear in papers and magazines. Programmers are the brains behind the websites and apps we all use every day. They're tasked with building software that is well designed and easy to use for the typical customer, and often have to write lines and lines of code to make it happen. As well as this, you might offer virtual IT support. Typical projects include helping websites with their search engine optimization, SEO, which involves making them more visible in search engine results. Opportunities for analyzing statistics and managing databases are common on freelance sites. 2. You understand how the internet works. Appreciate good design and you're great at brainstorming. Knowing languages such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is a plus too. You can take free online courses with qualifications to learn more. This industry has fierce competition. One of the most popular tasks is called transcription, and this involves listening to recordings of conversations and typing them out. You could even be a part-time remote personal assistant, wearing a hoodie and joggers rather than dressing to impress. The roles and responsibilities of a good virtual assistant include answering phone calls from customers, planning the boss's schedule and booking their travel arrangements, or performing light research for their reference. People think you're well organized, meaning you're always saddled with planning parties and school reunions. You've also got great attention to detail and top timekeeping skills. It turns out you can freelance as pretty much anything, assuming you're good enough at whatever you're selling. If you're very skilled in online shopping, you could take inspo from the student making money from Instagramming celeb fashion. Alternatively, why not become a pop culture coach and teach people about your favorite TV shows and films? The dream. We know. The list of things you can do as a freelancer is endless. A couple more we could mention include photography and video production, ideal options if you've already got the skills and equipment to get started. In the freelance world, there are two ways of getting paid, by the hour, or with a fixed fee for each project. Unfortunately, when roles are remote, your competitors for the best jobs are often from around the world. And, if they live in a developing economy where it costs a lot less to live, it can be impossible to compete with their prices and still get the minimum wage. To stand out from the crowd and earn the rate you deserve, you need to create a gripping application or pitch. If you possess rare or advanced skills, highlight them to potential clients and you may be able to command a higher rate as a result. But, just make sure you have realistic expectations of the money you could earn. Sadly, not many clients are willing to pay £500 per hour. And have a browse of the existing jobs on major freelancing sites, see below. Warning, in return for helping you find work, freelance companies take a cut of your earnings. Make sure you're aware of the commission you'll be paying, and add these charges on top of whatever you're quoting a client. It's best to avoid working with clients who want to pay you outside of freelancing sites, unless you know them personally. It makes it easier for them to dash off into the sunset without settling the bill. And you could be banned from applying for new jobs by the freelancing site for trying to dodge their fees. There are quite a few well-known websites for getting started in the freelance world. Some specialize in attracting workers and clients for a particular industry, while others are more generic. At the beginning of 2014, two of the most well-known freelancer websites, Freelancing and Odesk, merged to create Upwork. Upwork has over 12 million registered freelancers and 5 million clients, making them one of the biggest services of their kind. They host everything from hourly paid gigs with startups to larger projects with some seriously high-profile clients. 2. The website is really clear and easy to navigate. Plus, you get plenty of info about what clients are looking for in postings, which makes it much easier to write your application. Biggest advantage, they have a secure payment protection system which ensures you're always paid for the work you do. Clients send payment to Upwork before the job begins, and the company keeps the money safe and secure so neither of you can access it without the other's permission. Once the job is finished and approved, the cash hits your account. Biggest drawbacks, Upwork charges service fees of 20% when your lifetime earnings with a client are below $500, around £402 *. Then 10% on lifetime earnings up to about £8,041 *. Then 5% on figures above that, which are not the best rates. They also offer a weird service to clients hiring for hourly paid work. They send a snapshot of freelancers' screens every 10 minutes to make sure they're working for their money. Pretty patronizing. Freelancer is a pretty straightforward website to use. It's easy to sign up and you can list up to 20 of your skills once registered. Then, it looks for jobs which match your talents. Biggest advantage, you can see exactly how much people are bidding to work on a project, a feature which isn't normally seen on other sites. It allows you to be competitive and see what experienced rivals typically charge. Biggest drawback, again, fees. Freelancer takes 10% of your hourly rate and 10%, or £3.50, whichever is greater, of your fixed price project fees. They also run contests, where clients receive multiple submissions for a project and only pay for the one they like. Full fee info here. It sounds great for the buyer, but freelancers risk doing a lot of work for no reward. PeoplePerHour.com is a super friendly company. At one point, they were even inviting freelancers to use the desks in their office. Nice touch. You'll often see clients on People Per Hour stating how much they're willing to spend for a project. The pay's generally not bad. And we once spotted a job which involved coining a new slogan for a company. Their budget: a cool £287. Biggest advantage: if you're a medium or high earner, you won't pay too much commission. For earnings between £500 and £5,000, there's a fee of 7.5%, and all earnings above that have a fee of just 3.5%. Biggest drawback: for lower earning projects, the fees are pretty hefty. When you're paid less than £500 from a client, you will be charged a 20% fee. The three sites above are probably the main contenders in your quest for freelancing work. But there's a final, quirky site that's definitely worth a mention, and that's Fiverr. This site started out as a marketplace, where people around the world could offer their services, or gigs, for the princely sum of $5, about £4. Examples include, as you can see, some of the tasks are quite surprising. But this is great because it lets you get creative. Since the site was first set up, a lot of people have started charging more than $5 for their services. As a Fiverr seller, you can offer basic, standard, and premium packages with varying levels of service or speed. It's best to offer the most basic level of your services for $5. From here, you can offer add-ons for any price you wish, like a fast turnaround for $20, about £16.08 *, or a longer video or article. Biggest advantage: Fiverr lets you do freelance gigs in pretty much any field, doing just about anything imaginable. Biggest drawback: this site has fees of 20%, so if you charged £50 for a job, you'd have to give £10 of it straight back to Fiverr. Let's say you earn £800 in a month. From largest to smallest, here's how much each of the 4 featured freelance sites would see you take home after you've paid the site their fee. Exchange rate of $500 to £402.05 correct at the time of writing, fee based on earnings from a single client. Although PeoplePerHour.com would charge the lowest fees for these earnings, remember that they, like Upwork, calculate their fees in brackets like a tax system. So, it's worth considering how much you plan to work before choosing which site to find work on. Please note that, while Fiverr's flat rate of 20% might seem like a real turn-off, the site has its own merits to potentially outweigh the fees. It's arguably the best place to go if you're selling a quirkier service. So the extra business it can bring in may be worth it. To get work, you'll need to make a standout profile and proposals, similar to job applications, for the opportunities you find on freelancing sites. For the application, there'll be several sections for you to fill in. Getting this right is crucial, especially if you're a professional writer, because, in many ways, this is the most important sample you'll ever provide to a prospective client. Don't be afraid to name-drop the clients you've worked with in the past, and include quotes from their feedback in the introductory paragraph. Showing evidence of your extensive experience will encourage clients to take you seriously. Even if you write the world's best profile, no one will pay attention if you have a long history of 1-star and 2-star reviews, so don't take on too much too soon. And do every job to perfection. Once an assignment is complete, politely prompt your client to write a testimonial. If you manage to get lots of 5-star feedback at the beginning of your freelancing career, it'll become easier and easier to pick up new work. The first few weeks are always the hardest. Share info about your extracurricular interests as well as your work skills. If you're great at playing the bassoon or you're a gold medalist archer, don't be afraid to say so and show your fun side. Clients on freelancing sites are rarely stuffy and love a good personality. It's highly unlikely that you'll meet most of your clients, making it difficult for them to verify your credentials. Thankfully, many freelancing sites can do this on your behalf by checking your qualifications and geographical location. Once you've done this, you'll get a big, shiny tick next to your name. Also consider taking aptitude tests in your chosen area of freelancing, short 40-minute tests on things like your Photoshop knowledge, coding skills, editing abilities, and spelling prowess. The results then appear on your profile. And if you're lucky, you could be in the top 1%. Bearing all of the above points in mind, make a concerted effort to keep your profile concise and to the point. If a client has shortlisted 10 possible providers, they don't want to read a 3,000-word profile every time. Boil your page down to the most important points, and carefully cherry-pick the samples included in your portfolio. The last one is to check your spelling and grammar. Even the slightest typo undermines your credibility, especially if you're vying for editing work. It may sound obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people don't make the effort to thoroughly proofread their profile. Now, you've got the profile, an idea of what you want to freelance in, and an expectation of how much money you want to earn. But how do you secure that elusive job offer? For those that do, a free membership will likely limit you to sending just a few job applications per month. Buying a subscription allows you to send dozens, boosting your chances of getting accepted. Typically, the cost of membership will be less than you could earn for just one job, depending on what line of work you're in. Of course, as paid memberships will let you apply to loads more jobs, the cost could well be worth it if you expect to get lots done. Find clients who have been incredibly detailed throughout their description. This allows you to personalize your response and show them that you've paid attention to their requirements. And, on that note, don't be afraid to ask questions if anything seems unclear in an advert. You don't want to start a task, only to find out it's very different than you'd expected. For a fee, some sites let you sponsor your application. This means you can appear at the top of the list of proposals the client sees. The cost can add up, but when you consider how many applications a client gets, they probably are more likely to go for someone who uses a sponsored proposal. You'll find that this marketing technique will be invaluable when you're first trying to get noticed. But make sure that your proposal and profile are in top shape. There's no point paying extra to draw their attention to a rushed application. The one thing you should never, ever do when you're applying for freelance work, or doing any job application, for that matter, is use the same generic overview of yourself for every role. Clients can spot copy and paste jobs a mile off, and they often use little tests, like asking freelancers to use a secret word in their application, to make sure applicants pay attention. If you have an individualistic approach, it proves you care and boosts your chances. Keep up with tax and national insurance. Try saving 20% of your earnings, as that should cover the amount you'll owe in the new tax year, starting in April. Our simple guide to tax explains the process. And if you feel you're overpaying, check out our guide to getting a rebate. Look out for dodgy clients. Always use a third-party freelancing site or payment method when possible. And make sure you know exactly how much you'll earn for a job up front. Don't do illegal jobs. This sounds obvious, but there are some jobs, e.g., editing videos for a porn site or even writing erotic novels, which could get you into trouble if they're not totally legit. Never provide free samples. Many freelancing sites forbid their talent, that's you, from dishing out free samples. Instead, you can politely ask to be hired for the sample only at first. This lets clients decide whether to continue with your services afterwards. Avoid profit-sharing opportunities. Clients who try to offer you a share of the profits from a website, instead of a fee for your hard work, are usually bluffing about their amazing opportunity, and should be avoided like the plague. Don't get swayed by freebies. Some freelancing services offer great freebies such as complimentary business cards and heavily discounted access to workspaces. But only let this affect your decision if the price is right, and if you'll actually make use of them. Get repeat work with good clients when you finish a project. You could offer a discount of 5% to 10% off your rate if they hire you again. Clients love a bargain, and it's more cash in your pocket without hunting for new work. And remember to ask good clients for a testimonial. Ask for bylines. Some clients might not intend to include your name with your published work, but it's super important to ask. If you have a byline, your name included as author, creator. You can include the work in your portfolio. Use freelancing tools. Skype and Dropbox can be essential, especially for sharing updates and files with clients. Dictaphones are great for recording meetings and interviews, particularly useful for freelance journalists, PR. You could also check out project management tools like Trello or Basecamp. But freelance sites tend to have similar functionality now. When you've completed your work, and given yourself a pat on the back, you'll want to withdraw your hard-earned cash. Most freelance sites give you a plethora of choices, but each offer pros and cons. PayPal, the payment is pretty quick, and PayPal offers an extra layer of security. But if you're being paid in dollars, the exchange rates can be quite brutal. Despite this, it's the option we'd recommend as it's the least hassle, most safe, and the fastest by a country mile. Wire transfer, getting funds sent straight to your bank is possible. But it's not as simple as PayPal to set up. Arguably not as secure. And some sites charge you every time you make a transfer. Check, the most time-consuming method. Sure, you dodge extra charges, but not only do you often have to wait for the check to arrive in the post, which will take a fair while from international clients, you'll also have to wait a few days before it's processed and finally in your bank account. Prepaid card. Some freelancing sites offer prepaid cards which enable you to draw cash straight from your account on their website. However, you'll have to pay fees for every transaction you make, and expect to be stung whenever you withdraw cash from an ATM. Disclaimer: all content on this website is based on individual experience and journalistic research. It does not constitute financial advice. Save the Student and its authors are not liable for how tips are used, nor for content and services on external websites. Common sense should never be neglected. We sometimes use affiliated links which may result in a payment following a visitor taking action, such as a purchase or registration, on an external website. This helps keep Save the Student free. The user experience shouldn't be any different, and our editorial decision making is not affected by such links. Like most sites, we use cookies to optimize your experience and serve personalized content. By using our website, you agree to our use of cookies. More info. Text source: savethestudent.org.